It's kind of decided that they will get nerfed, they will get HP nerf, so they will become more squishy. But the beta isn't out yet, you know? I am from Deutschland, Ghost Boy. Alright, so we have the blue Man of the West player, Eternal, versus the red Mordor player, Maru. In the very first game. This is the map, which is looking pretty nice. So we have a trolley at the bottom, at the top, and signal fires in the middle of the map. It actually looks looks to be a pretty decent map. We can eventually use this also for the upcoming World Championship. So the eye will be able to scout everything. We see the barracks in the farm into the second farm. And Mordor will be building up, of course, as expected, the tavern for the mighty Corsairs of Umbar. Have you seen the Rings of Power series? If so, how did you like it? If I would make a rating about that, I would say it's like a 4 or 5 out of 10. It's not very good, it's not horrible either, but it's lacking of the soul of the Lord of the Rings, you know what I mean? Like, the animations are looking dope, you know, the graphics are looking amazing, but the acting from the actors is kind of questionable. I didn't like them, to be honest with you. And also, you don't have the same atmosphere like you had in the Lord of the Rings, you know? In the trilogy at least, so... little bit disappointed. I mean, still for the Amazon series, it's pretty good, you know. But for the Lord of the Rings series, it could be a little bit better, if I'm being honest. Yeah, solid. Yeah, decent. Nothing spectacular, you know what I mean? Like, nothing mind-blowing. Alright, so finish it off. Soldiers of Gondor. You see the initial damage burst is kind of crazy, you know? Like, you chunk them instantly to 50% HP. It's not only about their armor and tankiness, but also about their damage output. But Eternal will be able to take it down. That's pretty good for him. The colors are not matching with the scoreboard. We will try to make it fit, you know, work for the upcoming game. Apparently the budget, yeah, it is supposed to be the most expensive series of all time, you know? And when you make statements like that, when you say, I'm going to make a Lord of the Rings series, that's going to be the most expensive series of all time, what you're automatically doing, unwillingly maybe, or even willingly, you are kind of increasing the expectations from the audience. And if they watch your acting, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not into this Galadriel, to be honest with you. I don't want to trash talk her too much. But I don't think she's a very good actor, you know what I mean? She's always having the same face impression, dude. When she's angry, I mean, she seems to be angry non-stop, that's the first thing. She's always angry. But even when she's happy, she pretty much looks the same. I think she doesn't know how to smile and how to laugh properly, you know what I mean?
Keep going!
Keep going! Okay, we get more Corsairs. The fire bombs, as you can see, are chunking. Half of the HP is pretty much gone to one shot. And they've also pillaged, so keep that please in mind. They're able to steal money. You can see this +1. It's also at the same time -1. We are called for action. And also the problematic part here is their movement speed. They are just too fast, you know. They can do that all day long. You need Gunner Knights, but even the stable getting chunked. And it looks like that you would need around 4 Corsairs with the firebombs to insta-kill the stable. I think the dwarves were pretty much perfect. What do you mean? About the dwarven woman without beards? Hey Malok, welcome. Forward! Okay, in the meantime this has been taken down. That's pretty good for man. After the first couple of minutes into the game, we have 450 command points available for Mordor and 300 command points only for man. The damage you are able to deal with the Corsairs is kinda crazy, you know? It's kinda... hardcore, you know, it's very hard. And you can also counter the pikemen, by the way, as you can see. Draw your swords. Fire bombs is available, and there comes the chunk. Boom. You see, that's the initial chunking. And people, when I was complaining about it, they were like, yeah, but you can dodge this. How can you dodge that, dude? How can you dodge the point-and-click firebomb on the ground? It chunks 50% of your HP instantly. I mean, it's easier said than done. Theoretically, you could see that coming if you're like a prophet, you know, if you have like Elrond like Galadriel the chance or the ability to see in the future, maybe you can see that coming. But a normal player will not be able to dodge that in 9 out of 10 times, you know. And the one time you will be able to dodge it, it will be not even intentionally. But the Gondor Knights are coming just in time to trample them. Corsairs are natural sprinters, dangerous at short distances. Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like it. What's the story of the Rings of Power? It pretty much is about the First Age, you know? About the First Age. So basically when you watch Lord of the Rings trilogy, it's about the Third Age. It's about, you know, a lot of stuff has been already done. Sauron was already able to forge the rings. And, you know, was dominating the Middle Earth for a short duration. Then he got defeated by Isildur. And the ring got lost. And then the trilogy starts. In the Rings of Power, none of the rings got forged yet, you know? So it pretty much is about the story, what was happening before the trilogy. Before the Hobbits. +1, +1, +1, +1. Too much money. Money making units. We don't need to ban Mordor anytime soon because, I mean, very soon it will be fixed or it will be changed. The Corsairs are receiving a nerf, it's already confirmed by the development team, so it's about time, you know. Like, we need to just wait eventually a couple of more days, and within the next following days, maybe even tomorrow, they will release the next beta, which will nerf the Corsairs. Again, it's a huge achievement for the Rise of the Witch King community, guys. I mean, the developers made actually something unbelievable happen. After 20 years, since the game, I mean, after almost 20 years since the game got released, the community itself will be able to make a fix for a delay, which is huge, by the way. Because trust me, most of the people leaving the BFME games, there were two major reasons for that. The first reason is, of course, the lack of competition and the lack of servers in proper matchmaking, you know. And the second biggest reason is the lag of the game, which was inbuilt intentionally by EA Games to make the games kind of more in favor of the host player. And the development team of the patch 2.02 were able to fix that, the second biggest problem. Now, when we could find a solution about the servers in the matchmaking, you know, with a proper ladder, without having to manually upload replays, like you click on find match, you will be automatically matched with an opponent worthy of your skill level. That would eventually be enough to bring the games back to life. D-Mac in the chat. D-Mac, what's up, my friend? Oh, talking about developers, D-Mac is here, the main 2.22 developer from Battle for Middle-earth 1. Make rule no Corsairs for now. I mean, maybe make it no Mordor. Look, boom, chunk. They're also able to steal money at the same time. And you see the struggling effect. I mean, the only unit from the man faction or from any faction really, they are, you know, which are able to catch up to those Corsairs and punish them are, you know, cavalry units. But soldiers and pikemen, they can never catch them. Ooh, nice arrow volley. I like that one. Beautiful. Very well done by Eternal. Hitting like an absolute truck and cleaning up everything. Working while watching? Nice. Good. Ban all factions. Yeah. So we make an observer battle. Everybody is picking observer and then may the best observer win. But hey guys, that's my rule, you know what I mean? Nobody beats me in observing, trust me that one. Nobody has the chance to beat me. Okay, this one is going to be taken down as well. I mean, I like the fact that Eternal is fighting until the very end, you know? But the thing about, I mean, again, they will get nerfed, it's confirmed. They will get a HP nerf, okay? Just in case you missed the beginning of the stream. Their HP will be getting cut by a huge percentage, okay? They will get actually a crazy nerf, which will make them more squishy. But I don't think the squishiness is the tankiness is the main problem, you know? It's the combination of the damage and speed. And like the fact that you can kite your opponents, you know, pretty much all game long, makes you legit to a big threat, you know, throughout the entire game. Remember, we are talking about the Mordor faction, a faction which was meant to be weak at the beginning of the game, with an incredible skilling into the mid to late game, with Industry, with Black Riders, with 2 Felbees, 1 Witch King, a Mouth of Sauron, Haradrim Archers, Trolls, Drummer Trolls, Attack Trolls, Mumakirs. Like, you have so many opportunities in the mid to late game anyway. And now Mordor has legit brand new opening potential. So you have Orc Pits from the Orc, you know, you have Orc Warriors from the Orc Pit. You can go for the Orc Pit level 2 for the Black Orcs at the beginning of the game. You can go for Haradrim Paris Easterlings. You can get it to level 2 for Lancers. You can build a troll cage and delete the troll cage. Now you have also the tavern in addition to that, which makes Mordor unpredictable. I think it's gonna be a must spy faction to play against, you know? Because they have like so many opportunities now. Think about a faction like Angmar, for example, who has always the chance only to build the one specific building, and Mordor can start the way he wants. And diversity is gonna be very good. Eternal is gonna call it Mordor, Corsairs. I mean, I'm not gonna say Mordor is strong. Mordor seems to be strong only with the Corsairs. We will see the Mordor standing with the blue Goblin player Maru versus the yellow Angmar player Eternal. That's what we like. And keep that in mind, Angmar, I mean, Eternal likes to play the Angmar faction a lot. I believe the two factions which Eternal likes the most are Angmar and Dwarves. And Maru, I don't know if he likes to play the Goblins or not. Ekan, welcome. Oh no, BFME to rate. English left the chat. Alright, 2 tunnels into the 3rd tunnel. On the other side, we see 2 mills into the 3rd mill. So nobody's actually rushing a production building. I mean, a light. Okay, there comes the Goblin Cave. There is Gollum somewhere. What? Huh? I didn't see that coming. What is Angmar doing there, boys? Can somebody explain that? What is Angmar doing here? I never saw this before. I'm pretty certain that this map is from BFME 2. Because only BFME 2 is gonna make crazy stuff like that. They added the Angmar as like a detail into the game. What the heck? We will have Lord of the Rings new version in a future? You mean the Battle Formula 3? I wouldn't bet on it, to be honest with you. I wouldn't bet on it. It's about prestige, yeah. I mean, Nobu knows what's up, you know? It's about prestige, it's about honor. Okay, I mean, Eternal is spamming a lot of mills actually. Hall of the Kingsman into the 2nd Hall of the Kingsman. They have the Goblin Warriors inside the tunnel. No, he's gonna change his mind. So you might be trying to creep this. Eternal not getting punished for the economical opening though. What do you think about making your own RTS game? Do it. I would love to, but I have like no clue about how to do it, you know? Not everything is about money. True. I mean, especially when it comes to play an old RTS game like this one, you know what I mean? Tricky Dicky, thanks for the first subbing with the primers. Really means a lot. Thank you for the huge support, my man. Appreciate it.
Tricky_D1CKY just subscribed. Welcome to Beyond Standards crew.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Alright, so he was able to creep this. The first Gunnerbad is moving forward. They reworked this map, by the way. Eastwold is already a known map, but they made this one first. First of all, there is normally signal fire, I believe, in the middle of the map that's removed. It's a little bit reskinned, but beside that, it's pretty much the same map. Yeah, the inns are on the same location. This has been removed, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing else has changed. It's Raiki. Okay, the Goblin Cave number 2. Spider Pit number 1. No upgrade yet to level 2. Remember, the Spider Riders got buff this patch, so they should be able to trample now in a more efficient way. The thing is, you cannot disengage from the Goblin Warriors, you know, they are just too fast. They can always catch up to you, and when you know you can't win the fight, or when you know you can't get away, maybe you should just stand and fight, you know? He's gonna creep this also with the Spiderlings, and that's what I like the most, you know, creep with the Spiderlings, get them to level 2, then the harassment is gonna be more reliable and stronger, but also at the same time you can save one Spiderling from the battalion and they will end up respawning over time. He was able to save the Trial Master, and the Wolf Tank coming up next for the Wolf Riders. So Angmar also got a couple of changes, as Sharkin, welcome. As for example to the Dark Rangers and Black Numenorians. They got changed, they got kind of buffed, especially Black Numenorians got buffed, but they also, I mean, it's kind of like a rework. They got buffed in a way of dealing more damage or making them to a better swordman, but their cost got also increased from 400 to 500, which is a pretty significant price increasement, you know? 100 for each battalion, that's a lot. Creep. I mean, goblins are defending a little bit too much, in my opinion. He's gonna go for a half-claw swordman. And I would like to see the 1v1 potential between Half Trolls and Black Numenorians. Black Numenorians should be able to dominate the fight. I mean, I'm also excited about the World Championship actually. I was very surprised about Mishra Effects. I was actually kind of happy that people were finally able to defeat Sauron. I mean, we have not seen people defeating Sauron in a good way for the past 2 years. He has been dominating the Rise of the Witch King scene by winning multiple tournaments in a row. And I've seen now in the last tournament that there is a competition that Sauron can get kicked out from the tournament by players like Mishra Effects and Ave. And that's gonna make it more entertaining and also more interesting for me to, to host this tournament. I hope we will get 32 people at bare minimum. We are currently at 25, if I'm not mistaken, 25 or 26. So we are at least missing 6 more players. Fisher 1107, thank you for the resub for 2 months. Appreciate it. Thank you, my friend.
Fisher 1107 just resubscribed for 2 months. Ahoy! A chance for Fisher, viewer of Beyond Standards, to show his quality.
Oh yeah, my friend, you will do it. You will do it. I mean, we have even a sound effect for showing quality. Maybe you can use it, guys. I mean, we have added actually a lot of sound effects to the stream. It only costs 800 channel points, which is affordable. And one of them is also, it's time to show our quality. Okay, I mean, Half Trolls are actually dominating. After the first couple of minutes into the game, we have 700 command points available for Maru. 700, that's a lot. Versus 600.
They cannot stop the goblins!
We cannot stop the goblins. I mean, he's screaming good. Okay, I mean, maybe Karsh could be a nice choice. Remember Karsh being one of the greatest counters to the goblin spam. And the majority of the army from the goblin play is are still goblins. But remember, also goblins got a couple of buffs, in this beta. As for example, Shelob is now cheaper. And she can counter Karsh. I still believe that in late game you would not stand a chance against Angmar as goblins. And what I've noticed also from the Angmar players is that they kind of don't get to the transition into the Dark Ranges as much as they used to in the past. And I don't know, I cannot think about any reason why not, because I still believe, I'm pretty certain that Dark Ranges are still the way to go for the Angmar faction. When it comes to mid to late game, their damage output is pretty nutty. And also, again, the long shot Felvin combination is the only thing that you cannot dodge.
Angmar must prevail.
Angmar must prevail, or you cannot kill the goblins. Who is right? I mean, there is a squad coming. Level 1, level 1, level 2 incoming though. I mean, here's 3 Hall of the Kingsmen and a Wolf Den level 1. Later on, also Snow Trolls might be quite nice. The game is freezing. Uh-oh. Please don't keep me out. Okay, we are good. We are good. Okay. Destroy. Spiderlings and Goblin Warriors. They should be able to take it down, no problemo. But Goblins are untouched now for the last couple of minutes, And level 2 incoming. Never mind, he's gonna cancel it. No heroes from any player so far in this game. We don't see any Azog or Kill the Goblin King, or from Angmar, Waldor, or eventually Morgomir, and of course Karsh could be all great options. Power point wise, we have 5 power points after the Warchan and Creepin. They also got reworked, by the way. As you can see, I mean, you cannot see that, unfortunately, it's not updated. But the Warchan only gives you 33% more damage in armor instead of 50-50. And cave pads are not longer nullifying your leadership bonuses. A Felwind, Warchan, and almost 10 power points on top of that. The only thing what can kind of be bad for the goblins is the fact that he has not many spider riders on the field. He has only 1 battalion, he will definitely need more. Because remember, the Angmar player will get the chance now to summon orcs as a reinforcement, which will be actually summoned around this area to deal with the Half-Troll Swordmen. I mean, it's a very interesting and kind of like I don't think it's a good way to use the summon, because you will have to waste so much time around this spot. And by the time you want to finally move forward to the more, relevant spot of the map, your time is going to be almost gone. There comes the Felwind against the Spiderlings. We see Spiderlings against Wolfpacks. It's a 1v1 I've never seen before, actually. That's something you don't see often. And we have now the Black Numenorians, which are buffed again, because they have now the deathmax with level 2 available. So level 2 makes them pretty much to the strongest swordsman in the game, right? They will have the charge attack, which will be pretty much a replacement to the war chant. And in addition to that, you have like the passive debuff. So in a one-on-one situation, I don't think any swordman, not half-throw swordman, not Urukai, they cannot fight against them. Tell them to close the gates. Yeah. Unfortunately, there are no gates you can gate rush in this game, Buda. I mean, what is happening here actually? You shouldn't lose your spider riders like that, in my opinion. Now, Angmar is pushing back 825 command points and 9 power points on top of that after the Gundabite summon. And remember, the 15 will give you the chance to go for the giants. So you have the siege potential and even the potential to end the game. And goblins, they have 10 power points. They can also go for the Wildman of Dunlane summon, which might be actually the best thing to do in the situation. But he's gonna choose to go for the spiders. I mean, the Angmar has no cavalry. So I believe that Wildman of Dunlane could be a bit more efficient in a defensive situation, also in an offensive situation, because they have also the pillage, which means they can make you rich, you know. He's shooting, just trample the extroverts. There's a trample potential. Angmar is putting lots of pressure with the dogs. Who let the dogs out? Tunnel will be found and destroyed. Refusing to summon the spiders, he's gonna summon them now in a defensive way. I mean, kind of offensively and defensively the same. I don't know what the plan is with the spiders. He's just wasting time and not moving. Move! You are own host, brother. Come on now. Every second matters, you know? And Angmar has such a huge advantage in the power points department. Holy guacamole, that's a huge advantage. Look at this. He's at giants. I mean, he has more than 10 power points than his opponent. More than 10 power points. We see now the 1v1 between Black Numenorians and Half Trolls. And I mean, extroverts are sporting a little bit, but the main threat here are the Black Numenorians. They are, however, not immune to trample, unlike the Half Troll Swordmen. And Spider Riders are still able to clean up quite easily. That's pretty good. Spiders, they couldn't deal any economical damage yet, though. I mean, more stuff has to be done. There are too many mills around entire map pretty much from Eternal. That's why he's almost at full command points at 875 currently. 1000 is the max. A fight between Half Troll Pikemen. I mean, I don't know the reasoning of Half Troll Pikemen, what they can do against Black Numenorians. And I still think that more Spider Riders are gonna be the best thing to do. However, now we have reached the point in which the Angmar player will have the buff, the Fellwind, and also in addition to that, the Giants are available. But you want to be smart about the way you want to use them, you know what I mean? You don't want to just use them randomly without any protection, without any backup. You want to make sure that you have like an army pushing forward, an army that can keep those giants alive for long enough to take down enemy fortress. 18 power points against 7. That's more than 11 power point differential. Hey Odin, welcome. Odin AOE. I'm assuming it's standing for Age of Empires. But the question is, which Age of Empires? Is it gonna be Age of Empires 2, Definitive Edition, or Age of Empires 4? There are so many Age of Empires games, and they are so different from each other. 2? Okay. I mean, I think 2 is still the most played one, right? Because I believe I even bought the Age of Empires 4 when it came out for the first time. And the game got kind of a little bit hype at the beginning after the release, and now it's kind of doomed. I don't see anybody playing it anymore. I don't see anybody streaming it anymore. While AoE 2 has still a huge player base and fan base. Okay, there comes the Giants, and that's exactly the situation, and that's gonna force Maru to insta-leave the game because he knows he has no proper way to deal with that. Alright, the game number 3, the first tiebreaker. We have the yellow Moro player Eternal versus the blue Angmar player Maru. On this beautiful map. Look at this. Mering Stream, it's called. BFME in at the bottom. In top side, in Warclear. That's pretty much it. So we have no other creeps. There's like a bridge in the middle, and it's beautiful design map, you know. But not too many creeps, not too many nitro structures you can capture. Canes, thanks for the follow, appreciate that. Means a lot. Mordor again. I mean, to be honest, I've not seen Mordor against Angmar, and it looks like, yeah, we're gonna see the tavern, of course. You know, never change a running system, boys. That's the way to go. You wanna abuse it. Best RTS of all time? Hey, Odin. You cannot seriously come to a BFME stream and tell that any other game besides BFME is the best RTS of all time. You know, that just, you know, come on, Odin. Didn't AoE 4 hurt AoE 2 in terms of player base, and now AoE 4 is slowly dying? I think it's not slowly dying, it's dying, it's already dead, you know? I think AoE 4 is already dead. And it's kind of feels really bad. Imagine you are like a company and you make Age of Empires 2, then you make Age of Empires 3 and 4, you make like 2 more games after the 2, and none of your games which meet after the AoE 2 were played or liked by the community as much as the 2. So it's a waste of money what you are doing pretty much. Wolf then coming up instantly actually, and I believe that's the must way to go. And hear me out, I believe also Angmar is one of those factions which can eventually deal with the Corsairs the easiest way, because of your early access to all the units you need. Wolfdan and Hall of the Kingsman give you the chance to, you know, recruit every single unit you would need from the beginning until the very end, in the easiest transition into the cavalry. Yes, the Wolf Riders are not the best, but they should be doing their job by trampling them and catching up to them, you know. Again, your Gundabats couldn't catch them, so you need the transition into the Wolves. And the question is, again, look, I want you to look carefully, okay? There comes a trample, and this trample will deal more damage in the next beta. Okay? You see right now, we need 2 tramples, at bare minimum 3 tramples. Right? But the second one was kind of like a flank damage. So you normally need around 4 tramples right now. And I believe in the new beta, all you need are 2 tramples. And then you can kill them. Because the HP nerf is gonna make them quite squishy, you know? So you see, the early transition, and Corsairs are no problemo. It's that, but 2 weeks there will be 300k tournament for AoE 4. Oh, really, man? Dude, the problem is, you know, it's an official game, you know, which you can buy on Steam, you can play, there are servers, and of course, for that reason, it's easier for them to find sponsors for those kind of tournaments. I wish we could do the same for BFME games, dude. I wish. But we can't. What can I do? What can I do, boys? Should I go to the bank and say, hey, I need a credit, boys? For what? I want to sponsor a tournament in BFME for $10,000. They would laugh me. They would laugh at me, you know what I mean? Okay. Angmar is kind of holding them in the middle, but there are some Easterlings, of course, on the field. Corsairs Easterling combo might also be quite deadly. The question is, can you deal with the Easterlings fast enough to trample the Corsairs afterwards? Maybe the bank guy is a huge fan. Yeah, I mean, that's the only way, I believe, you know? Because there is 0% chance that we can find proper sponsors for any tournament we are doing, because the games are abandoned, there is no company behind the game, and why should a sponsor a tournament for a game which is 20 years old when the game got even abandoned by the makers, by the company who made the game, you know? And for that reason, boys, I'm unfortunately forced to say that the tournaments we will be hosting are gonna be mostly between $50 up to maximum $500, you know? But we are doing that ourselves, you know what I mean? Without any help from any company. That's self-earned status, you know? It shouldn't be underestimated. Okay, he's looking for a trample, but there are 2 Easterlings protecting. Very good micro by Eternal. And yeah, when you can keep those Corsairs alive, you should be in a good spot. But the Wolves, they can counter the Easterlings hardcore. They're indeed one of the best counters. Beautiful trample incoming. You also get the Lancers. There are no pikemen from Angmar. 1 trample can actually kill all the backline. He's trying to body block with the units in the front, but Mordor is dominating the fight. Corsairs are not squishy enough like archers. They don't tie to 1 trample. So even when you get a lucky trample off in one of those situations, it won't benefit you as much as trampling down archer, for example, you know what I mean? If you get 10k for a tournament, let me know. We're gonna spend in bear and stuff. We should make an event and call it $1 million tournament, even though the cash price is only $100. You know what we can do, guys? I found a solution. So as you guys know, we are living in a world with different currencies in each country, and for example, the Turkish currency is not worth that much compared to dollars and euros. Indeed, 1 euro is like as much as like 18 lira, you know what I mean? So basically 100 dollars would be like 1,800 Turkish lira. So if you can get like $500, it would be like more than 10,000 Turkish lira. And then we can say, you know, we can say BFME to Rise of the Witch King tournament for 10,500. Wait for it, Turkish lira, you know. I'm pretty certain there are also currencies which are even, you know, like I'm pretty certain there are countries in which €1 is like equally strong as like 50,000 or something. You just need to find the currency to make $100 to $1 million. That's all you gotta do, you know. And it's not about clickbait. It's not about a lie. It's actually $1 million, just not in euro or dollars, you know. Okay, Angmar is pushing. The slaughterhouse in the front will be taken on. It's unfortunately for Eternal, it's almost level 2, but it won't hit level 2. We have 600 command points available for Angmar and 450 for Mordor. As you can see, Angmar is kind of one of the factions, and that's what I was kind of seeing coming. That can counter the Corsair spam and rush at the beginning of the game. When you just make the early transition into the Wolf Den, that's required to deal with the first push. What's the average salary in Turkey in liras? I believe currently it's like 5,500 or something. So it's like €300 for $300 what you are earning in a month. $100 is 32,000 Zimbabwe. Okay, dude, 32,000. So wait 1 second. Let me think. For 100,000 we need like $300. Then we can make a $100,000 of Zimbabwe tournament for Battle for Middle-earth games. You know? Oh, the clickbait. Come on, can you do it? Yeah, beautiful. He was able to take it down. That's dope. That's dope, actually. Alright, so we have 575 command points available for Mordor, for Angmar, and 375 for Mordor. And beautiful. I mean, he's trying to go for a big push, but there comes the Orc Summon from the Angmar play defensive. That's a very good call into the War Chant to make sure that he can defend this. The firebombs on the ground will be forcing you to move aside, otherwise the fire will kill you. As you can see, the units are burning, but I think there are enough units for you to defend. The Black Numenorians should also be easily able to deal with the situation. And Voldor is joining. Angmar is kind of rich, dude. You see, when you can kind of keep Mordor's, you know, Corsairs checked, it's hard for them to get stuff done. Pretty much. Look, everybody's making research now. What is the weakest currency in the world? That's what we need to Google. In which country, I think that's gonna be the best going. In which country can I get for $100 $1 million? And then we need to find this currency and put it as a reward, you know. Look, $100 is 1,542,971.76 Indonesian rupees. Or is it rupees? I don't know, rupees. That's kind of busted, dude. That's, I mean, this we can do that, you know? Like 1.5 million. The World Championship of BFME 2 The Rise of the Witch King in Battle for Middle-earth 1 in cash prize of 1.5 million Indonesian rupees. You just gotta wait for it, you know, and people not gonna listen until the end most of the time. They will just like listen to 1.5 million and you stop. They think you're done and then you come out with it, you know what I mean? All a part of marketing, boys. The slaughterhouse is gonna be taken down. Angmar is putting so much pressure, and actually Maru is playing this so decently. I think that should be like an example about how to deal with the Corsairs, you know? Get early cavalry on the field. Again, it's not easy for every faction, but it's definitely easy for Angmar, you know? 2.4 million Vietnamese donk. Or just make the title 1.5 million title and you don't put any... Yeah, exactly, you know? I mean, you are basically not lying. You will give out 1.5 million. You found a way to be a millionaire. Oh man. Dude, I literally wish that we would be in a much better standing in terms of like the online community. Imagine you have like a company behind your game, advertising your game, trying to make stuff happen that can bring in more people to play the game, creating proper, you know, competition by inviting the pro players to a place in which they can play with webcams, and we see them all. Like when I watched, I mean, right now there is like a world championship going on for League of Legends, and every time I watch that, I'm so jealous, you know, I'm so jealous that they get that and we can't, you know. Like there are like 10 cameramen, you know. It's unbelievable, the organization, but they have like 500,000 viewers. It's also different, of course. But still, you know, it's so fun. And every time I see that, I'm like, hey, you know, it would be so awesome when we could get this done also for BFME games. But, you know, maybe one day, but maybe one day. Maybe one day one of us will be, you know, billionaire in cryptocurrency or something, and then the person who's gonna become billionaire, he's gonna be like, Shanks, I will donate 1 million US dollars for the tournament. And that's the only way. That's the only way we can do that. Ranges up on the field. Voldor in the front line should be able to tank a lot of damage. There comes the long shot. He's not moving. He's moving now, but he will still lose a couple of orcs. Orcs, they shouldn't be any problem to deal with for the Rangers. And he's gonna call it GG now. And what a dominance. What a beautiful performance from the Angmar player Maru, and that's like the tutorial about how to deal with the OP Corsairs in the beta. And again, it's gonna be easier to be dealt with later on. We have the blue Eisengard player Maru versus the yellow Eisengard player Eternal. So lots of Urukai will be seen in this game. Lots of goblins around the goblin layer, troll layer, and I personally like this map a lot actually. I'm just like a little bit sad that people are not using the full potential of this map, you know? The full potential of this map is of course this beautiful dock. So you capture this ship right, and then you just go ham, you know, for the sneaky attack. Who needs mineshafts? Who needs tunnels in 2022 when you can get those transport ships? And every faction can do that. 2 furnaces, 3 furnaces into the Eisengard, for the Eisengard player Maru. 2 furnaces into the Uruk pit, into the 3rd furnace coming out for Eternal. So now you have a lot of options at the beginning of the game as usually. You can creep this, or you can creep this, or this with the pikemen, or you just go for the Uruks and rush forward. And remember, the buff and debuff system got completely reworked for every single faction. That kind of affects also the factions, especially with the debuff and buff in their spellbook. And in this case we are talking about Eisengard. And also the whole ability got changed from the war packs. So you remember in the version 8.5 the whole ability used to be a replacement of the war chant, and you couldn't and you shouldn't use whole and war chant at the same time simultaneously, because it wouldn't stack as they were both buffs. But whole will be now it's been changed to the spell. It only gives you now 25% more damage, but it also stacks now with the war chant. So you're not gonna be way stronger than you were in 8.5 because the war chant got nerfed from 50 down to 33, but it's still a little bit more damage, you know? And it gives you the chance to still pick up the war chant even when you go for the war packs. So Maru didn't pick anything yet. Opponent player Eternal starting with the war chant. He's gonna build a war pit right after. The Uruk pikemen actually going forward. Look at them, boys. They are looking serious. And the war packs, they don't stand a chance against them. Transport ships are squishy, but I thought, I mean, they are squishy, but they don't need to be tanky. They can be sneaky. That's all they gotta be. You hack the wall here with the transport ship all the way to this area, to the corner. Then you come to this location and you just bring them out. They don't, I mean, it doesn't need to be tanky, you know? There is nothing that can kill it. It's gonna use the Kribane, which actually is now very good against Warchant, because Warchant got nerfed. So, I mean, basically in the 8.5 version, when you would use Kribane against Warchant, they would still have 25% more damage and armor, but now they have only 8% more damage and armor. So the buff actually is now better against buffs than it was before. You can see the glow, it's a new animation. The whole ability, again, the descriptions are not up to date. And he might also lose this one actually. I don't know if the Uruks will be making it out in time. I don't think so. Yeah. It's a very good push from Eternal. You're gonna also get level 2 after that one, and they can just disengage. Alright, so far 2 furnaces are destroyed by the pikemen, and only 1 furnace from Eternal has been destroyed by the enemy war packs. Pikemen, they should be able to win this fight. And Maru has to disengage. Yeah. It's a bad fight to take. Don't fight. And the problem is that Uruk pikemen are now equally as fast as Uruk, so you have no catch potential on them either. And they also got buffed in this version from 400 down to 350. Their price got reduced. The Warpacks, they cannot really play the game anymore. Bombard ships deal insane damage, but they also miss a lot of their shots, you know, Albi. I've seen it multiple times, you know, they miss like 3 out of 5 shots, literally. They don't know how to aim those Corsairs. Okay. Warchan on cooldown, creeping on cooldown, 350 command points for Eternal, 500 command points for Maru. Maru is spamming Eco, which is one of the things you should be trying to do also in the beta. Eco got buffed in the scheme, so now you make more money. Like the multiplier, the money you make from a resource building is now greater than it was in the 8.5. So you get faster to the mid to late game power spike, which also gives you extra money to recruit heroes eventually, right? And that's why spamming Eco should be a good thing to do. Uruks, they should be able to win the 1v1 situation, I believe, against Warpacks. Warpacks are one of those units that are not really good for fighting. They're only good for harassment. So when it comes to destroy buildings, they also need a little bit of, amount of time. They cannot burst it down like a couple of other units can. But they also are quite cost efficient, you know. Again, good for harassment, horrible fighters. Furnace might be taken down. The pikemen, they are getting body blocked by their own units. They won't make it there in time. The pikemen might come. It looks like Maru wanna overcommit, and that won't be a good choice. And he will lose this Warpacks. It's kind of buggy though. There's a visual bug. You can see they're dead and the animation is still going. It's like a visual bug, you know. Okay. Give it to us. And you can see the animation, right? It's kind of following them when they keep running. It feels like it's like a wind coming from their behind, from the back. 450 command points against 400. So it's pretty even actually in the command points department. Power point wise, we have 3 power points and 4 power points. Eternal is a little bit ahead in the power point race. And there comes the big commitment. And Warchan is available. Oh, that's gonna be a big push. Again, keep in mind that Warchan is now able to stack with the hole. So with the 33% from the Warchan and 25% from the hole, your Warpacks should be able to hit like a truck. Okay, so splitting up, that's good. That's one of the advantages you have from the Warchan in compared to Eye of Sauron. It gives you the clump, buff, and then split potential. Eye is kinda mobile, has also advantages in some certain situations, but in this situation, definitely Warchan is better, you know? Because Eye can't be moving and being duplicated in more than one place, so it has to be static in one location. But a lot of counter pressure is happening. There comes the big commitment of Uruks and Pikemen. Looks like you want to take down the Warg pit. The Warpacks, they will make it out, but they won't be able to participate in the fights because the Pikemen, they can counter them hardcore. Now the question is, how much damage can Eternal deal with the Warpacks? He will be able to destroy 2 furnaces. He has also lots of dogs on the field. Look at them. 4 battalions of Warpacks. The Warg pit has been taken down. The furnace level 2 is going to be taken down right after. That's minus 75 command points in your bank. You see also goblins sporting Eternal. They were able to find this furnace from Maru, and it's going down slowly but surely. So we have 400 command points available for Maru now, and 450 command points available for Eternal. But he might also be losing this one actually. What you can do is you can try to clump in between the buildings. It's the best way you can actually take down the building without being interrupted, right? Because if you clump there, only the archers can shoot you. The enemy units can't come. That's why you will always see, or people will try most of the time to not leave any gap between the buildings. So this one should be a little bit closer to the Uruk pit, so the enemy units can't make it in between. That's a very dangerous spot. If they make it there, your building is gonna be most likely taken down every single time. Okay, we have 450 command points against 500. He went for the War Chant, Maru, and Eternal saving up for 10 power points, which is gonna be a power spike for the Weapon of Dunland Summon. But again, Maru will have some Warg Riders upon the field, and they can be countering those white men quite easily. Hi Ibrahim, welcome. Big push. Crossbowmen, pikemen, more pikemen. There is no Warg Rider from Eternal. It means there is no threat on the crossbowmen. Unlike from Maru though, Maru has Wark Rider, and it means Eternal has to pay attention. And he has to be on the spot with the pikeman. Now the problem here is that Eternal has only one single pikeman, so what Maru can do, and what Maru should be doing in my opinion, is to kill the one pikeman Eternal has, and everything else can be cleaned up by the Wark Riders. But it looks like he doesn't want to take the fight. So we have Devastation actually from Eternal. That's gonna give him a great chunk of money, which gives him the potential to recruit heroes like Sharku, for example. At this point I believe Sharku and also Lourdes could be a very good hero. Lourdes of course later on with the leadership, and Sharku to counter the Wark Riders, you know. Can pretty much chase them down non-stop, and they won't be able to get stuff done. Uruk pit number 2 is coming up. We have a lumber mill around the fortress too. The furnace. And we will see a big fight in the middle. There comes the war chant from Eternal. Maru decides to not take the fight though. He's gonna try to disengage. But remember, Maru has the advantage in those kind of situations. When his war chant is available, he has buff and debuff, while Eternal has only the buff. He never went for the Creepbane. And having debuff and buff, or having double buff in many situations, is going to be quite rewarding, especially in this situation because the debuff is now more effective against war chant. Wark Riders. There is only one pikeman, two pikemen actually, and I take it back. Okay, two pikemen, one pikeman over here, almost 6 power points in the bank. He's gonna use War Chant, and he's now gonna take the fight. Okay, so a new power is rising. He's trying to don't focus down the Wark Riders with your archers. It's a waste of time. The Creepbane got a rework, so it can't be killed anymore, right? It used to be getting killed in the past, in the version 8.5. But now it's unkillable. So there is nothing that can kill it. And Eternal will also go for the Creepbane. He's gonna use it. Sharku from Eternal is actually getting chunked. And the positioning of the pikeman is very good from Eternal though. I mean, looks like he will be forced to disengage. It's a bad fight to take. I don't know what's happening. We see a lot of glowing of the new hole ability, and a fiesta. Okay. 675 command points versus 550 command points. It's pretty evenish, and Devastation of course is almost halfway back, so it always gives you round about 1500 resources instantly, which can be invested into heroes like Sharku for example, or Lourdes, or you can save up a bit more and recruit even Saruman, you know. 725 for Eternal and 650 for Maru. Maru is almost at 10 power points as well. Eternal still having advantage. Crossbowmen are fighting against each other. He's trying to kill the pikeman, which he shouldn't. When I kill, I mean, I don't know why people are trying to kill the front line for no reason. I think what you should be trying to kill are the crossbowmen, you know? Creepbane is scouting the map for some potential furnaces. The Wark Riders, they are badly damaged. And remember, Eisengard can't buy banner until he's building up the armory. Eternal has a huge lead because he got Devastation earlier, yeah. Very true, very true. But also Maru has now the chance to go for Devastation. Maybe Maru can even go for the Wildman, but he's not gonna choose that. I mean, Wildman can also be good because, as we are talking, there is no cavalry besides Sharku from Eternal. So you could summon the Wildman right on top of the enemy army with the War Chant later on, and you get like a second army. You can... I mean, the good thing about Wildman is you can summon them on top of the enemy army, you know what I mean? Which will give you a huge advantage. But Eternal has now the Warp Pit level 2, so maybe Devastation was the better call. And also Maru needs a hero. I'm telling you guys, Lourdes can be extremely efficient, not only to eventually shut down enemy Sharku with the Cripple ability and then Carnage. Lourdes can 1v1 him easily, but also leadership. Because remember, the leadership cannot be nullified anymore, right? So unless you have like Worm Tongue with the active debuff, because Creepbane can't. So leadership from Lourdes is going to be even more effective in my opinion. Look, you see, it's a waste of time, you know, trying to kill the pikeman like that. In the porcupine formation, they are just too chunky, too tanky. We have two heroes, Lourdes and Sharku, at the same time. That's the power of Devastation, ladies and gentlemen. That's the power of Devastation. And Eisengard mid-lead game is very powerful in terms of economical advantages. We have Devastation, Fuel the Fires later on. Yes, you sacrifice eventual army summon like Watcher or Wildman of Dunland for eco, but it gives you the chance to build like 3 Uruk pits at once. You know, you can recruit Saruman, you can keep spamming units and make it up for the lack of the additional summons. And you will never run out of money, you know, with Eisengard. Okay, we have also Lourdes for Eternal. So now the micro is very important. In an ideal world, you want to place your lords next to your archers to level them up way faster. Level 4 and 5 is a massive power spike. Level 4 cripples enemy hero. Level 5 gives you permanent leadership. Eternal has 7 power points and Maru has 5. This game is gonna last a while. Are we gonna see any transition into Uruk Pit level 2 or something? Nope. Maybe Uruk Deathbringers. Think about that, you know? Eternal has like the Uruk Pit level 2 incoming level 3. He's gonna be the first one who's gonna recruit those Uruk Deathbringers. I wanna see their DPS and also their impact in this game. A unit we don't get the chance to see very often because we don't get a lot of Eisengard late games. I wanna see this. It might be the difference making unit, you know? Because I don't think that the crossbowmen are gonna deal too much damage to them. That comes to Vorchant. Lords using the Carnage. Again, maybe diving in is a little bit too dangerous. There is also Lord from the enemy player. He's gonna just run for his life. I mean, just wait it out, you know, until the Carnage is gone. This Lord is only level 1. Sharku is gonna be used to kill the Uruk Pit number 1, but there is another Uruk Pit level 3. And now we will very soon get the chance to see the Uruk Deathbringers. Look at the map, you know, it's kind of divided in 2 pieces. They have like 50% each map control. Making sure that everybody has enough money to do crazy stuff. There is no Uruk Pit level 2. Maybe Maru is gonna save up for Saruman eventually, I don't know. Maybe Armory. We see now, you see, that's the power of Eisengard. 3 Uruk Pits in mid-game. One of them is level 3. Keep up the spam all the time. The builder from Maru is going down. Sharku getting level advantage. Level 5, level 7 unlocks the Minita. Biat, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Transport ship Deathbringers. Would be actually kind of crazy, dude. Imagine you have like, how many? You can like have 3 of them, right? Let me check. Yeah, 3. So you can recruit 3 of them. Don't show your opponent. Get transport ship, put 3 of them inside and get them out. Oh my goodness. That would be kind of crazy, dude. I think you can take down the fortress even. 11 power points for Eternal. 12 power points for Eternal. 11 power points for Maru. The question is, what's going to be the 15? Is this going to be the Vestige, the Field of Fires? I don't know. But Maru is putting great amount of pressure on his opponent.
The last march of the Ents is going to be a good one.
The last march of the Ents is going to be a good one. Now we have the Uruk Deathbringers, ladies and gentlemen. Look at them. Look at them going. Oh, my cursor is too fast. I cannot do this cinematic effects. I want to see them. If the Stone Wall with level 2 become high resistant to knockback, and then level 5 the Death Wish will make them deal 150% more damage. But they will exchange that to lose 33% of their armor. I mean, I believe I've never seen it in a proper game, in a competitive game, the Death Wish, because it's hard to keep them alive until they get to level 5, you know? They are melee units. I mean, range units like Noldor Warriors, they make it easier to the power spike. But melee units like Dwarven,
an enemy has been crushed.
Zirel in the chat. Zirel, what's up, my friend? Glad to see you around. Okay, so... a new power is rising. And Deathbringers are at hand. Okay, I mean, they are losing the fight though. Why? Are they slower than the pikemen? They can just turn and fight or not? They have now the stone wall potential if they want to. But losing them is kind of bad though, because they give so many power points to your opponent, and also they cost 1000 each, so you don't want to lose them. Sharku is diving into the backline. Level 6 Sharku from Eternal. Level 5 Sharku from Maru. 17 power points for Maru, and Eternal went for a Field of Fires. So now Eisengard is gonna make actual bank, you know? At this point of the game, all you gotta do is spam them. Spam those Lambda Mills all the time. They are burning, shining bright like a diamond, making lots of cash. Grimo Wormtongue got crippled from Eternal, but he got to use the escape. He's next to the opponent, but he can't see him. He can't see him. How long? He's gonna use Palantir just to see him. He's gonna use Palantir. Because Palantir, we don't know. Palantir, if you don't know, is actually, you know, making the invisible units visible. Lourdes, level 5 from Maru, using his head as his weapon. The Sharku from Eternal is trying to put some counter pressure. We have 825 command points available for Maru, 875 for Eternal. Oh, the Deathbringers are bringing death upon Lourdes. Alright, one of them is level 3 now. He has 2 of them. Will he go for the third one? He has also 3, the third one. So what is Maru doing actually? Let me check. No crazy shenanigans. He also went for the Field of Fires. I mean, they are all about to make a lot of money. This dude is pretty much almost level 7. That again will be a massive power spike. You unlock the Man-Eater, you get more DPS, 100% armor, and most importantly, you get the regeneration. From 1 HP, you can heal up all the way to full HP with 1 eat.
We must join with him, Gundam. We must join with Sauron. It would be wise, my friend.
That would be wise, my friend. Uruks against Deathbringers. Who's gonna win? Oh my, they are getting smashed. We are the superior Uruks. We are Uruks of the 4th age. We have learned Taekwondo and I don't know. Every tactic with the sword. And Lur's 5 soon. True. I mean, Maru's Lur's was already level 5, but he lost him. It's a clumped crossbowman army. Maybe Sharku could make it inside there. The Deathbringers are actually a very strong front line, especially when they use this one. Actually, I don't know if they if they get any. No, it's like a passive ability. They don't get any resistances besides having more resistance against knockbacks. No Worm Tongue from Maru, and no Saruman, and no Deathbringers. He's gonna go for them now, I believe. He has level 2, but he's not going for them. Again, it requires you 750 more resources to get it to level 3. And that's not gonna happen anytime soon. Level 4, one of them. They are taking now heavy damage from the crossbowmen. There are too many crossbowmen on the field. In Warcry, there's 2. Level 6, almost level 6. Sharku from Maru. This Sharku is basically level 7, close to be level 7. It's a huge army. Imagine Watcher right on the spot, dude. It would be so juicy. Imagine Sharku in there. Imagine Sharku in there. You hit one time, you actually, oh my goodness. I'm gonna keep an eye on that Sharku. Do it, Sharku. One hit. You got crippled though. He can't hit. Hit it. He's spamming clicks. Don't spam. Just let him auto attack. Just let him. I cannot. He would have gotten level 7 there. I'm telling you. He would be just fine. Can you imagine that? If you get level 7 there, he eats, heals up to full HP, and he gets 100% more armor. He would have been just fine. But he spammed clicks. You know, he was right clicking and he was cancelling his auto attacks all the time for no reason. Lord's level 5 now for Eternal, his leadership. Level almost 7. That's a huge clumped army of Uruks and of crossbowmen and pikemen. 12 power points in the bank against 15. Devastation, I mean, he has the chance now to go for the Watcher if he wants to. I believe he can go for the Watcher if I'm not mistaken against after Devastation. Maybe not. I'm not certain. I think you can go for Watcher after the Wildman of the Unland Summon. I don't know if you can after Devastation. Not sure. 1000 command points for Eternal and 650 command points for Maru. And he never went for Uruk Pit level 3. He went Armory level 3 though. You want to get heavy armor and forge plates on his units, but Eternal can do the same. And he will be doing the same. He has already heavy armor purchased. I mean, money is not a problem at this point of the game for any Eisengard. Devastation and Field of Fires is just gonna make you rich. You will become the Bill Gates and Elon Musk at the same time of Middle Earth. And you can even owe money to Eru Ilúvatar, you know what I mean? Like, even he will ask you for money at this point. Okay. Level 7, Sharku. Sharku has been killed from this dude, but he has his lords back in the business. He crippled Sharku, and this Sharku can use the Man-Eater. He should be using the Man-Eater. Look how tanky he is. Imagine with the Man-Eater. Just use it. Why is he not using it, man? It's an ability. You can click on it now. No. Look, that's the first time he gets dismounted from his work. He's kind of attached to the work, but when he dies, he falls from the work. It's also very interesting. It's a huge army. Also, Lords got crippled. We have fire rolls on the crossbowmen. That's a game we have never seen before. I mean, this late game. 20 power points in the bank against 15. Eternal will very soon get the chance to go for the 25. Lords is diving in from Eternal, but maybe he's diving in a little bit too much. But there come the reinforcement from the Deathbringers level 5. They have used the Death Wish. They are glowing. Look at him. Look at him shining bright like a diamond, boys. He is on rampage. And Maru, without saying a word, will leave the game. The Deathbringers were bringing death upon Maru.